Hey everybody, Professor Wright here. Learn, grow, teach. Teach you something I hope you can learn and grow from. Thank you for watching the other videos, and if you haven't, I sure hope you do. They're really informative. It can help you do some things with your money that can fulfill you. And if you notice, I talk about fulfilling and values all the time in relation to money. Remember, money is a tool, and that's the way I look at it. And I've learned the tools and the processes in 20 years of doing finances and really believe that that is why people go to work. See, I've done many presentations and many seminars, and one of the things I ask is, why do you go to work? And generally the answer I get is something like, because I got to make money so I can take care of my family, so I can pay my bills, things like that. And then I ask the next question, and this is a good question. I ask them, and it's a generic question. It's very cheesy. You know the answer to it. It goes like this. If you have $50 million in cash up under your bed right now, would you go to work in the same way you go to work right now? The only people that I ever had yes to are veterinarians. They don't work with people, they work with animals, so they're happy. But for the most part, everyone else says, hecky, no, I ain't working, no, I'm outie. You know, I'm doing something I want to do. I've heard restaurants, I've heard barbershops, I've heard nail salons, I've heard travel, I've heard touring and helping, volunteering. Essentially, it's basically a volunteering. I've heard a lot of people say that. So the question is this. If you had the money, would you go to work? You say no. But I ask you why you go to work. You say to make the money. Then doesn't that kind of like conflict? Isn't that sort of like not in alignment? And I find that to be true with most people. And from that, I came up with something that was very interesting to me through observing and being in finance and everything. I really understand that, again, I said this before. A lot of people may take offense to it, but it's a perspective. America is adversarial and antagonistic to your money. Okay? And I came up with this one. Everyone wants your money more than you do. Think about it. Commercials everywhere. Out like the food, the Burger King at 2 o'clock in the morning. You laying in bed just chilling. All of a sudden, Burger King commercial comes on. You're like, you know what? I want a burger. John B. Watson's behaviorism. That's in psychology. You can look that up. John B. Watson, behaviorism. You know, like Pavlov's dog, ring the bell, he starts salivating. Yeah, behaviorism. They do that on purpose. That's all about advertising. Email me or post on YouTube and I'll give you a link to it and give you some good information about that. But basically, if you go to work to make money and everything is out to take your money, then again, you have to take that defensive position that I said, that I mentioned in the last video. You know, you got to come and get this money. I ain't just giving it to you. Everything is codified. Everything is penalized. Everything you do is penalized and takes your money. Speeding tickets, taxes, everything. They take your money all the time because they don't want you to have that aggregate holding, what people call savings. I call it aggregate holding. Because if you had the $50 million, you'd be out there doing what you wanted to do, and they can't have that. Okay, so they control it a little bit through the siphoning of your money, through the W-2 like we talked about, through the loans and the penalties and the credit cards and the debt overall, things like that. So one of the things in accounting, when I go audit organizations, what I find, and you've heard of this word, it's called commingling. And that's when things go together that would be best off if they were separate. Okay, so I'm going to share today with you something that can really help you get to the TT10. If you remember that one, if you watched it, it was the third one, TT10. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today are the different pools of money. If you've ever was watching an election, and it was like a state election, and they're talking about the general fund. Okay, well, we don't have enough money in the general fund. We have to raise taxes. What that is, in government accounting, they take all the money, the taxes from the tickets, from the real estate taxes, the sales taxes. They put it in one general fund. And then every municipal entity pulls out of that fund. So you got the police department, the fire department, everybody else. They start pulling from this fund. Now, imagine if everybody's putting their hand in the pot. How much is in the pot? Who's regulating the pot? Who knows how much is left? Who knows how much every person is getting? Remember, I am an auditor. So what I have found, just like in accounting, and this is business accounting, not government accounting, is that things have to be line itemed, separated. Okay? The TT10 is the beginning of that. So, and also, you wanting to do stuff is another component of the TT10. Okay, so I'm going to give you something that you can use real easy. Go to the bank, do this, you'll be fine. Okay, provided you hold your defensive position and you hold on to your money, you'll basically be fine. Okay, here we go. That right there is short-term savings. Okay, the average emergency that I have found with all my clients cost about $800. Okay, so I have advised my clients to have short-term savings of about $4,000. It gives you 5 problems that you can handle. Obviously, a transmission, a radiator, an engine, a little bit more expensive, but for the most part, $800 can solve your problem. Okay, that's how that works. So that's STS. Let me backtrack a little bit. Forgive me. This right here is your checking. That's your today needs. Okay, those are the things that you have to pay for today and basically tomorrow. That's what that is. The short-term savings, I define it as the pool of money reserved for anticipated purchases or unanticipated emergencies in fewer than 13 months. Okay, so let's say you plan on buying a washer and dryer or something like that. That's the short-term savings. The transmission or the control arms to the car, short-term savings. Now, if you have the short-term savings and you have to pull from it and you have a significant amount in there, then how does that affect your checking? It doesn't. You can still pay your bills for today and tomorrow. But that emergency that popped up or that desire that popped up or that need, you can handle it with short-term savings. That's fewer than 13 months. Okay? Now, obviously, if you have an STS, you have a LTS. Long-term savings. Those are for future anticipated purchases such as a home down payment, a car down payment, starting a business or something like that. So this right here I have found is customized to the person. Okay, so it's not, I just can't say 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. It depends on what you want to do. You determine that for yourself. Okay, you determine that for yourself. But I'm going to just put here, I'm going to put 15,000 right here. This right here, anybody can do in time with discipline. So if you're making $9 an hour at Taco Bell right now, this is where you're trying to do to get there. You have to do it to get there. You just can't say, well, I ain't got no money, I ain't gonna work. No, you can't do that. You have to say, I'm gonna use my money, put it in place. ATD, ATM, TT10, implement these, and you'll get there. Okay? Don't shut it down because you feel kind of impoverished right now. Don't do that. Okay? Just step up to the plate, which I know you can do. You know, you've been through worse. You can do this. Just put this in place and you'll get there. Does it take time? Yes. That's one of the things. Timing. I'm sorry. It does. Does it take discipline? Oh, yes. But this is where you're trying to get to and you can do it. Okay? Just follow along. The last one is something that we can thank Kathy for, one of my clients years ago. And she called it, when I did these to her, explained that to her, she said, well, what about vacations and birthdays? And she said, we should have a separate account for that. And I said, Kathy, that's a great idea. So this is called the EEA, Exclusive Entertainment Account. So it's for your vacations, it's for Christmases, it's for birthdays and weddings and anniversaries. This is the pool of money that is designed just for those things. Okay, I have found this one, that amount of money is about $3,000. Depending on your class and where you want to be and how you want to do it. I've seen it more, but for the most part, $3,000 is about where it is. Okay, so this is where you go. You run to the bank. Correction, before you go to the bank, you sit down, you analyze your budget, which you've been doing, right? I know you have. Thank you. Good for you. So you do your budget. You sit down, you allocate your money for the TT10. That's basically what this is, okay? This is how you're going to do that. So you go to the bank, get a free checking account, use a credit union. If you're a veteran, get a senior, veteran, student, get a free checking account, get as many as they'll let you have for free, okay? And you do this. This is your checking, You put money in here, it can be $25 a pay at Taco Bell. That's great. Here, $25 a pay. Here, $25 a pay. But you don't do this or don't allocate it. It might be 15, it might be 10, depending on your budget. Okay? So this money is yours. It's for you. We're going to talk about debt next time. Professor Wright, glad you're here. Look forward to seeing you. Make some comments. Let me know what else you want to talk about. But I'm here for you. Learn, grow, teach. Be, know, do more. See you next time.